Ever wondered how your favorite game characters measure their battle skills? In the realm of Conquest, Aerth science fantasy role-playing game by JDM, a unique fantasy gaming universe, this measurement is known as a combat score. It's an intricate system that quantifies a character's prowess in various aspects of combat, from their ability to land a solid hit to their knack for evading attacks. Combat scores are the lifeblood of gameplay, determining success and failure in the heat of battle. They are not just arbitrary numbers, but a reflection of a character's skills, attributes, and even their chosen profession. They encompass a broad spectrum, from ballistic and melee attack scores to the mystical occult manipulation score, and even the elusive stealth and perception scores. Understanding these scores is crucial to mastering the Conquest Aerth game. Whether you're a seasoned player or a curious newcomer, knowing what each score represents can vastly enhance your tactical approach. So, ready to dive in? To master your gameplay, it's time to delve into the specifics of each combat score. First up, we have the ballistic attack, or BATAC. This isn't about how well you can throw a punch. No, it's about your skill with ranged weapons. Picture yourself as an archer, a gunslinger, or even a futuristic weapons specialist. Your BATAC score determines how proficient you are with these types of weapons. It's not just about natural talent, though. Your BATAC score is influenced by your profession and rank. So a seasoned soldier will likely have a higher BATAC than a newbie. But that's not all. Your character's attributes, specifically intellect and reflexes, also play a crucial role. But what does all this mean in actual combat? Well, the higher your BATAC, the greater your chances of hitting your target. Every time you take aim, your BATAC score comes into play. It's even enhanced by certain factors like using scopes or firing aids, or even adopting a prone position. So, if you've got a high BATAC, you're a force to be reckoned with in ranged combat. Next, let's talk about getting up close and personal with melee attack, or MATAC. This crucial combat score represents your character's skill in striking an opponent with hand-to-hand weapons. Your chances of landing a successful hit on your enemy are directly proportional to how high your MATAC score is, and inversely proportional to your opponent's defense score. Now, let's consider magical weapons and spells. These can grant significant bonuses to your MATAC, giving you an edge in the heat of battle. Think of them as your secret weapons, ready to turn the tide when you're locked in a fierce melee. But here's the real kicker. If your MATAC becomes disproportionately high compared to your opponent's defense, you can invoke the domination or even decimation rule. That's right, a high MATAC can mean the difference between simply winning a fight and absolutely crushing your adversary. Remember, a high MATAC can mean the difference between domination or decimation. Now, let's move on to the art of hurling with throwing attack, or TATAC. Imagine you're in the heat of battle. Your fingers wrap around the hilt of an axe, the weight of it familiar and comforting. With a swift, practiced motion, you hurl it toward your foe. This, my friends, is where your TATAC score comes into play. It's a measure of your proficiency in throwing anything from axes to darts, grenades to sledgehammers, and even the occasional chair or Molotov cocktail. Certain characters are particularly adept at this form of combat. Assassins, martial artists, gladiators, and fighting illusionists boast impressively high TATAC scores. Their deadly accuracy with thrown weapons is legendary. On the other hand, some magical professions also display reasonable TATAC scores, preferring to stand back and lob magical missiles into the fray. Yet, for snipers, techs, engineers, paladins, samurai archers, hierophants, monks, and ringkeepers, their TATAC scores tend to be on the lower side. Now let's flip the script and talk about defense. Defense is your lifeline when you're under attack, representing your skill in parrying and blocking. It's the counterpoint to an enemy's MATAC, working mathematically against it. If their MATAC score is high, you'll need a robust defense to keep yourself in the game. Some fighting professions have access to the defensive skills of the mighty, giving them an edge in close combat situations. And let's not forget the bonuses granted by magical weapons. They can significantly boost your defense, making you a formidable opponent. Remember, in the world of combat, it's not just about how hard you hit, but also how well you can take a hit. The dance of battle is a delicate balance between offense and defense. and mastering this balance is key to your survival. So, whether you're defending or launching an attack, these scores are critical to your survival. Now we'll dive into the mystical with evasion, occult manipulation, and resilience. Evasion, as you might guess, is all about slipping and sliding out of harm's way. It's a measure of a character's ability to dodge objects or roll out of the way of grenades. Think of it as the agility that lets a character dance around gas clouds or avoid getting smacked by a vehicle. It's not just about dodging physical threats, though. It's also about nimbly avoiding indirect spells. So if you want your character to be a master of the artful dodge, then you'll want a high evasion score. Next up, we have occult manipulation. Now, this isn't about tricking ghosts or bamboozling banshees, rather, it's a measure of a character's mastery over their chosen magical path. Non-magical professions, of course, don't have an occult manipulation score. But for those who do, a high occult manipulation means that their spells work more often and in some cases even travel faster. This score rises with a character's rank and can be enhanced with certain magical items and artifacts. Lastly, we have resilience. This score is a testament to a character's toughness. It represents how resistant they are to direct attack offensive magic, certain incapacitating munitions, and even some noxious effects and diseases. This score increases with the rise in rank of a character. Magic casting professions and techs tend to have the highest resilience scores. But wait, there's more. Sometimes a character might have an item, skill, or trait that grants resistance only to magic. In these cases, the resulting occult resilience may be higher than the standard resilience score and is noted separately. So if your character is a magic caster or tech, you might want to keep an eye out for such magical items or traits to boost your occult resilience. As you can see, these scores serve as your shield and weapon in the magical realm. Finally, let's explore the silent killers, stealth and perception. These two scores are the embodiment of the age-old adage, knowledge is power. They represent, respectively, your ability to remain unnoticed and your capacity to notice things others might miss. They are the scores that can turn the tide of a game without a single blow being struck. Let's delve into stealth first. This score is the measure of a character's skill at hiding and staying hidden. The higher your stealth score, the less likely you are to be detected, allowing you to sneak up on foes or slip away unnoticed. Stealth is a crucial score for characters that rely on surprise and subterfuge, such as snipers, bounty hunters, and assassins. It's influenced by a variety of factors, including the noise your armor makes and your ability to blend into your surroundings. And it's not just characters that can have stealth scores. Mines, booby traps, and even hidden passageways can all be assigned a stealth value. Now, on to perception. If stealth is all about staying unnoticed, perception is all about noticing. It represents a character's alertness and observational skills. A high perception score means you're more likely to spot hidden foes, detect traps, or notice important details. It's the best defense against the silent attacks of assassins and snipers, and a valuable asset for any character. But here's where it gets really interesting. Stealth and perception are intrinsically linked and often work against each other. A character with high stealth can easily evade someone with low perception, while a character with high perception is more likely to spot someone trying to hide, even if they have a high stealth score. It becomes a silent battle of wits, a game of cat and mouse where the stakes can be life or death. So as you shape your character and navigate through your adventures, always remember the power of stealth and perception. They may not be as flashy as a high attack or defense score, but they can be just as decisive. Remember, a keen eye and a silent approach can often be your best allies. We've covered a lot of ground today, so let's recap. We started with ballistic attack, a measure of your prowess with ranged weapons, where your intellect and reflexes play a vital role. Then, we moved on to melee attack, your ability to strike an opponent with hand-to-hand weapons, where magic spells and weapons can give you a boost. We discussed throwing attack, where your skill at hurling objects into the fray comes into play. And we can't forget defense, your talent for fending off an adversary in close-in fights. The evasion score helps you dodge hazards, while occult manipulation gauges your mastery over your chosen magical path. We then touched upon resilience, your resistance to offensive magic and incapacitating munitions, and stealth, which defines your ability to hide and stay hidden. And of course, perception, your alertness and observance. Finally, we explored magic points, your reserves of magical energy. With this knowledge, you're now equipped to maximize your gameplay and become a true master of combat.